Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a treat for you. Hailing all the way from the heart of the Midwest comes the one, the only, R&R Review. On the other side of the court, we have the new movie, The Way Back, being coached by a recovering alcoholic who started shooting a movie about a recovering alcoholic straight out of rehab. Before we jump into tonight's match, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, the Wilhelm Awareness Foundation, fighting screams of the many voices of Wilhelm since 1995. Catch the game on any of our channels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Tonight, starting for R&R, we have the expert, the legend, the critic of all critics, myself, known as Flynn Simdebeda. Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to the cinema. R&R Reviews.
Welcome back to R&R Reviews. As always, our review will be spoiler-free. This week we tackle the latest basketball drama that isn't really that much about basketball. The Way Back. An unconventional story about a man trying to fight off addiction and find renewed purpose in his life. This film stars Ben Affleck, going method actor, as Jack Cunningham, a construction worker who reluctantly accepts to coach his old high school's basketball team. The events following this decision create a chain reaction that causes Jack to face his demons and begin to conquer this addiction that consumes his life. Needless to say, this is an emotional film with a character that many can relate to. I don't know about it being quite as emotional as maybe Coach Carter, Air Bud, The Sixth Man. Definitely not as sad as Space Jam and Like Mike and Semi-Pro. We gave The Way Back a 5 out of 10 points. The film has a very subtle tone, very soft, and at points, a little slow. Despite the film revolving around basketball, it doesn't emphasize this predominantly. It's more focused on telling Jack's story. It has this really organic and natural way of telling itself. It doesn't rush into the story, but gives us time to feel like we're really getting to know this character naturally. The plot develops very differently than we expect for this type of film. Generally, the layout of these sports-type dramas are very predictable, but The Way Back strays from that predictability at some points and gives us something a little bit refreshing. This film is built on its emotional pull. We are witnessing a man fight for his very life. We grow with this character, we can relate to this character, but there is just something missing here. Something lost, something that just couldn't find its way back. I know, Bob. The emotional peak the film is trying to reach just never seems to quite hit their peak. It engages us and pulls out all the tearful stops, but it seems like there is this plateau that is reached and the emotional connection, it begins to fade. Don't get us wrong, it's a good, well-told story. We're just upset about the money we wasted on tissues we didn't use. It also feels like the film ended about 20 minutes too early, leaving us hanging. There are some supporting characters throughout, but the only arc we really see play out is Jack's. There are a few nods to some of the other castmates, but in the end, we're focused on our main character. The development of this character is portrayed seamlessly. We start out watching his struggle, but as it slowly progresses, we really get to see what caused our character to reach this point. It never rushes itself, being completely dedicated to the character's story rather than some other plot, as expected. Again though, it seems to cut off about 20 minutes too early. As our father said, just enough to make you ask questions. Was that supposed to mean something? I didn't get it. Perhaps some of the popularity revolving around this film comes from Ben Affleck's method acting. This film began shooting nearly the day after he left rehab for alcohol addiction. We have all witnessed Ben lose a lot in his life as he continues to struggle with alcoholism. Props to him for getting the help he needs, and for his ex-wife Jennifer Garner being the support he needs. But we can't act like this doesn't bleed over into this character and bring a more genuine take. Affleck's acting was top-notch, giving the kind of performance we only wish to see in some of his prior work. We don't want to name any names, but for real, Ben, what happened with Batman? You were supposed to be the one. Wait, who wrote this? I loved Batman vs. Superman. Bob, this is crap! Justice League is DC and Joss Whedon's fault, not Ben Affleck's. I digress. But this is the kind of work that made Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck. When he cries, you feel it, and he has this way of portraying an emotionally crippled man with a stone face that just gives you goosebumps. It could be because he's an emotionally crippled man, or maybe he's just a really good actor. Nevertheless, this is the kind of work that made Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck. And we can only hope for more. The overall tone of the film was very soft, subtle, and mellow. There were tons of moments where the score was overlaying soundless actions. It was very prominent, and it never gets very loud. Ever. The lack of crescendo in the score may have played largely into an emotional plateau that keeps us from grabbing those tissues we waited a half hour in the line for. Dadgum coronavirus panic. At times it felt like it was trying too hard and became Mr. Magoo and cliché. That goes for some of the visuals too. A little more originality in these categories could have given us a stronger emotional tug. We get a lot of natural lighting in every shot. Lots of close-up and ground shots, ton of sun flares at the lens. Ooh, cry. Sometimes the camera does this annoying zoom that is just so slight it just irritates. There were also a couple of scenes that just seemed like they awkwardly sat in silence. In the end, this story is told very well, with some excellent acting, but it lacks a certain it factor that pushes it over the edge. It's still a flick worth watching. R&R recommends The Way Back. Just don't spend too much money on tissues, or you'll be just like us trying to sell them on eBay to people with the coronavirus. That's not insensitive at all. And can somebody give Ben just one more chance to be Batman? Just one more chance. Well, that's all we have for today. Until next time. It's a beautiful day in the cinema hood. Wait guys, I'm lost. I'm lost? I can't seem to find my way back. Help! Someone? Do you know the way back? Has anyone seen Ben? He knows the way back. Guys, help! I'm lost! I need the way back! In one corner, weighing in at 6 foot and 480 pounds, sewn together in the black and yellow shorts, it's the self-proclaimed critics R&R Reviews. In the other corner, it's the Batman. That's not gonna work. It's a basketball game, not a boxing match.